In 1973, an American family of four could go out for dinner on a Friday night, sit down at a real table with menus, and a waitress eat a full meal with appetizers and leave with the bill under $15. The places where this happened, dozens of them, big chains with hundreds of locations, were the heart of suburban American life. By 2026, almost all of them are gone. These are the 15 restaurant chains that defined what dinner out meant in 1970s America. The places where you took your kids on Friday night. The places where your father had his birthday. The places where you went after the school play, after the funeral, after church on Sunday. I'm glad you're here. This channel is for everyone who remembers shopping there, eating there, sitting at those booths. If you're new, welcome. Stay till number 9. There's a chain on this list that had over 600 locations at its peak, and most people under 50 have never even heard the name. Let's begin. Number 1, Howard Johnson's. The orange roof, the blue cupola, 28 flavors of ice cream. If you took a road trip in America between 1955 and 1985, you stopped at a Howard Johnson's. Probably more than once. Fried clams in a paper basket, hot dogs grilled in butter, the ice cream counter in the front, the dining room in the back, the tile floor with the small black and white pattern that every Hojo's had. At their peak, in the early 1970s, over 1,000 restaurants. Bigger than McDonald's at the time. Howard Johnson himself had built it from a single soda fountain in Quincy, Massachusetts. The last Howard Johnson's restaurant in Lake George, New York, served its final meal in 2022. 97 years gone. Number 2, Bonanza Steakhouse. Bonanza opened in 1963, named after the TV Western. By the late 1970s, 600 locations across America. The wood paneling, the saddle on the wall, the salad bar with the chilled iceberg lettuce, the Texas toast, the ribeye, for under $5. Bonanza was where you went after a school sports event, where the Boy Scouts had their banquet, where your grandfather took the whole family on Saturday night. Most Bonanzas closed through the 1990s and 2000s. A handful, technically, still exist, run by a different company that bought the name. But the chain you remember with the buffet on the wagon wheel and the steaks cut in the back, that's gone. Number 3, Steak and Ale. Steak and Ale opened in 1966 in Dallas. The faux Tudor exterior, the heavy wooden door, the stained glass, the dim lighting. It was supposed to feel like an old English tavern. For a generation of Americans, that's exactly how a fancy night out was supposed to feel. The Kensington Club, the hot breadboard served warm with butter, no extra charge. The salad bar in the middle of the dining room, the waiter in a vest and bow tie. At its peak, 280 locations. By 2008, every one of them was closed. The company filed for bankruptcy. There was an attempt to bring it back recently with one location in Texas, but the chain you remember, the one with the dark wood and the candle and the wine bottle, doesn't exist anymore. Number 4, Bennigan's. Bennigan's was the casual Irish-themed sister to Steak and Ale, founded in 1976. By the late 1980s, 300 locations. The Monte Cristo sandwich, the death by chocolate dessert, the shamrock decorations, the flair pinned to the suspenders of every server before TGI Fridays was even a national chain. In July 2008, 200 Bennigan's restaurants closed in a single day, just locked the doors. The franchisees were given notice on a Friday. Customers showed up Saturday to find the chains on the doors. A small handful of Bennigan's still operate, mostly franchised internationally. The American chain, the one your office went to for happy hour in 1987, is gone. Number 5. Geno's. Geno's was named after Gino Marchetti, the Baltimore Colts defensive end who founded it with a few teammates in 1957. By 1980, 350 locations across the East Coast. The Geno Giant Burger, which was their answer to the Big Mac, came out a year before McDonald's introduced the Big Mac. Some people argue Geno's invented the double patty burger. Either way, it was their signature. In 1982, the Marriott Corporation bought Geno's and converted every single location to Roy Rogers. The Geno's name disappeared from the East Coast overnight. There was a small Geno's revival in 2010, just a handful of locations near Philadelphia. But the chain that defined fast food for a generation of East Coast families, that's gone. Number 6. Roy Rogers. Speaking of Roy Rogers, the cowboy-themed roast beef chain named after the actual Roy Rogers, the singing cowboy from the films. 600 locations at its peak in the 1980s. The Fixin's Bar, where you topped your roast beef sandwich yourself with horseradish, mayo, lettuce, tomato pickles, banana peppers. The Double R Bar Burger, the fried chicken, the young man in the cowboy hat behind the register asking what you wanted on the side. By 2026, around 50 Roy Rogers locations still operate mostly along I-95 between Pennsylvania and Virginia, down from 600. The chain that owned the East Coast Highway dinner that's mostly memory now. Number 7. Burger Chef. Burger Chef opened in Indianapolis in 1954. By 1973, 2,500 locations across the country. They were the second largest burger chain in America, behind only McDonald's. The fun meal with a small toy and a burger and fries came out in 1973, 3 years before McDonald's launched the Happy Meal. Some people argue Burger Chef invented the kids' meal as a concept. Then McDonald's took the idea and the lawyers got involved, and Burger Chef quietly faded. In 1982, Hardee's bought Burger Chef and converted nearly every location. By 1996, the very last Burger Chef closed. 2,500 restaurants gone, with most Americans under 60 unable to remember the name. Number 8. Sambo's. Sambo's was a 24-hour diner chain founded in California in 1957. By 1979, 1,100 locations across the United States. The pancakes, the coffee that never stopped getting refilled, the booth where the truckers ate at 3 in the morning. The chain's name and decor, based on a children's storybook, became increasingly controversial through the 1970s. Lawsuits, protests, declining business. By 1983, Sambo's had filed for bankruptcy. Most locations were sold off and rebranded. One Sambo's, the original location in Santa Barbara, California, remained open under that name until 2020. Then it changed its name. The chain doesn't exist anywhere. The 1970s diner experience it gave to a generation of Americans, that's gone. If you've made it this far, you've already remembered chains you hadn't thought about in 20 years. I'm working on a printed guide of every defunct American restaurant chain by region, by decade, with the original menus. If you'd like a copy when it's ready, the link is in the description below. Free for subscribers in the first week. Now back to the list. Number 9 is the chain I promised. 600 locations at its peak. Most people under 50 don't even know the name. Number 9. Lums. Lums was a sit-down restaurant chain that started in Miami Beach in 1956. The signature item was a hot dog steamed in beer. They called them Ollie Burgers, named after the founder. By the early 1970s, over 400 locations across the country, headquartered in Florida. In 1969, Lums actually purchased Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. The hot dog chain bought the casino. They later sold it, but for a few years, the same company that ran Lums ran one of the biggest casinos in Vegas. By 2017, every Lums was closed. The very last one in Bellevue, Nebraska, served its final beer-steamed hot dog and locked the door. Most people from outside Florida and the Midwest had never even heard the name. Number 10. Red Barn. Red Barn was a fast food chain shaped like, well, a red barn. The buildings looked like literal red barns with pitched roofs and white trim. By 1973, 400 locations across the United States and Canada. The Big Barney Burger, the Barn Buster, the mascots, Hamburger Hungry, Big Fish Hungry, and Chicken Hungry. The salad bar, which Red Barn invented before any other fast food chain had one. In 1988, the parent company stopped renewing the Red Barn franchise leases. By 1992, every Red Barn was closed. A handful of the actual barn-shaped buildings still stand repurposed as other restaurants. You can still see the silhouette if you know what you're looking at. Number 11. Pup and Taco. Pup and Taco was a Southern California chain that combined hot dogs and tacos in the same restaurant. Started in 1956, by 1984, 99 locations across California, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. The combo plates, the pastrami sandwiches, the slush puppy machine, the walk-up window with no inside seating at most locations. In 1984, Taco Bell bought 99 of the locations and converted them all to Taco Bells. 2 Pup and Tacos remained independent for a few more years. The last one closed in the 1990s. The chain that defined Southern California's suburban lunch in the 1970s, that's gone. Number 12. Carol's. Carol's was a hamburger chain headquartered in Syracuse, New York. By 1972, 150 locations across the Northeast. The club burger, the foot-long hot dog, the soft-serve ice cream cones for 10 cents. In 1975, Carol's converted every single one of its locations into Burger Kings, the chain that defined Friday night fast food for upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania that's gone. The corporate parent Carol's Restaurant Group still exists. They're the largest Burger King franchisee in America, but the chain itself is gone. Number 13. Mr. Donut. Mr. Donut was a New England-based donut chain founded in 1955 by the brother-in-law of the founder of Dunkin' Donuts. There was bad blood. The two chains competed bitterly across New England for 30 years. By the late 1980s, Mr. Donut had over 600 locations in North America. The chocolate-covered cake donut, the honey-dipped raised, the coffee in the brown ceramic mug refilled every 5 minutes by the waitress on the morning shift. In 1990, Allied Domecq bought both Mr. Donut and Dunkin' Donuts. They converted every Mr. Donut to a Dunkin'. By 1992, the American Mr. Donut chain was gone. The brand still exists in Japan, where it's actually thriving. But in the country it was born in, it's a memory. Number 14. Wetson's. Wetson's was a New York metropolitan area hamburger chain. The slogan was "Look for the orange circles. The buildings had bright orange logos shaped like circles. By the late 1960s, 70 locations across New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The Big W Burger, 15 cents. The thin fries. The shake machine that ran continuously. In 1975, Wetson's was sold, and most locations were converted to Nathan's Famous. By 1976, the Wetson's name was off every building. If you grew up in Queens, Long Island, or northern New Jersey in the 1960s, the orange circles were a part of your childhood. Then suddenly, they weren't. Number 15. Friendly's. Friendly's is technically still around with a small handful of locations as of 2026. But the Friendly's most of you remember the one with 500 locations across the East Coast, the one with the Fribble milkshakes, the big beef burger, the Reese's Pieces. Sunday, the orange and yellow decor. That Friendly's is mostly gone. Founded in 1935 in Springfield, Massachusetts, the Conestoga wagon decor, the wide booths with the green vinyl seats, the small bowl of pickles the waitress brought you while you waited for your order. By 2011, Friendly's had filed for bankruptcy and closed 200 locations. By 2020, more closures. As of 2026, fewer than 100 locations remain. Most of them are not the original buildings. The chain that was the after-school ice cream stop for a generation of New England kids. That's mostly memory now. That's 15. You probably remember most of these. A few you'd forgotten. Maybe one or two like Lums or Wetson's or Pup and Taco you'd never even heard of. But a kid somewhere in America in 1973 sat in one of those booths every Friday night. What they all have in common isn't bankruptcy or competition or the shifting tastes of the American family. What they all have in common is that they were the places where ordinary American Friday nights happened. The booth where your son ordered his first cheeseburger. The salad bar where your wife went back for seconds. The waitress who knew you by name and topped off your coffee without asking. The bill that came to $12.85 and made your father reach for his wallet smiling because in 1973 in America, you could afford to take your family out for dinner. That doesn't really exist anymore. Not at this price point. Not at these places. Not for that kind of family. I'd like to know which one of these chains was your family's place. Was it the Howard Johnson's on the highway? The Bonanza for birthdays? The Friendly's after Little League? Tell me below. Tell me where you ate what you ordered and how old you were. I read every comment. Next video, we're going to walk through the death of Woolworth's. The day in July 1997 when every single store in America locked its doors. The lunch counter, the parakeets, the candy by the pound, all of it gone in 24 hours. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until next time, take care of yourself.